This moment could change your life if you learn to take control of your mind. Every journey to success begins in the mind, and today you take the first step. Your thoughts shape your destiny, and it's time you become the master of yours. After watching this, you'll never be a prisoner of distraction or fear again. Your mind is the first battlefield, and everything you experience in life, your victories, your failures, your confidence, your fear, starts with the invisible conversations happening inside your head. Long before you take a single step in the physical world, you've already taken hundreds of steps mentally. That's why some people lose battles they never fought, and others win wars no one believed they could. The difference is not strength, not resources, not talent. It's the quality of their inner dialogue. When your mind is scattered, unfocused, and controlled by fear, every challenge looks bigger than it is. But when your mind is disciplined, clear, and grounded, every challenge feels smaller than you imagined. Most people don't understand this. They keep trying to change their life by changing the outside, switching jobs, switching goals, switching methods, without ever switching their mindset. They keep blaming circumstances, relationships, timing, or luck when the real battle is happening inside. You can't conquer your life if you can't conquer your thoughts. Your thoughts shape your identity shapes your actions, and your actions shape your results. If your thoughts are weak, distracted, or chaotic, your life will reflect that same chaos. But if your thoughts are strong, disciplined, and intentional, your life begins to rise with that same strength. This is why the mind must be trained, not entertained. The average person spends more time feeding their distractions than feeding their destiny. They allow negativity to enter freely, but rarely guard their mental gates. They allow fear to speak louder than purpose. They allow doubt to sit where courage should be. They allow excuses to grow where discipline should live. The battlefield of the mind doesn't require weapons. It requires awareness. It requires you to notice the thoughts that drain you, the emotions that weaken you, and the patterns that keep you trapped in cycles of frustration. The first step to conquering this battlefield is taking responsibility for what you allow into your mind. You can't expect clarity while consuming confusion. You can't expect strength while feeding yourself weakness. You can't expect focus while your attention is scattered in 1,000 directions. Every thought is a seed, and every seed produces something, either fruit or weeds. The problem is that most people water their weeds. They repeat the same fears every day, rehearse the same doubts, replay the same painful memories, and wonder why they feel stuck. You can't rise while repeating the thoughts that keep you low. But here's the truth: the mind is not naturally disciplined. It must be trained. It must be commanded. It must be directed with intention. If you don't take authority over your thoughts will take authority over you. The mind loves comfort, routine, and habits, even bad ones. That means your job is not to fight your mind. Your job is to retrain it. You retrain your mind by replacing destructive thoughts with purposeful ones. You retrain it by focusing on solutions instead of problems. You retrain it by speaking truth to yourself instead of listening to fear. You retrain it by choosing action instead of waiting for the perfect moment, because nothing destroys potential faster than hesitation. When you decide to conquer your mind, you begin shifting your entire life. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop panicking and start planning. You stop shrinking and start expanding. You stop seeing obstacles as threats and start seeing them as training. You become more intentional with your time, more protective of your focus, more selective with your energy, and more powerful in your decisions. A conquered mind becomes your partner in success, not your enemy in progress. And once you win that inner battle, the outer battles become easier, smaller, and conquerable because you've already won where it matters most. Motivation is a spark, but discipline is the engine. Motivation excites you for a moment. Discipline carries you for a lifetime. Most people wait for motivation to strike before they take action, not realizing that motivation is unreliable, emotional, and inconsistent. It comes and goes like the weather. If your success depends on motivation, your progress will always be unpredictable. Discipline, on the other hand, doesn't care how you feel. Discipline doesn't negotiate with excuses. Discipline doesn't disappear when life gets uncomfortable. It shows up whether you're inspired or not. And that's why discipline is far more powerful than motivation, because discipline produces results even on the days when your feelings refuse to cooperate. Motivation makes promises. Discipline delivers outcomes. You can be motivated to lose weight, but if you're not disciplined, the moment you're tired or stressed, your goals will collapse. You can be motivated to start a business, but without discipline, the first sign of difficulty will push you back into your comfort zone. Discipline is what allows you to keep going long after the emotional excitement fades. It's what separates people who dream from people who achieve. It's the invisible force behind every transformation, every achievement, every breakthrough that looks impossible to the undisciplined. The truth is, discipline is not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. You don't have to take massive steps every day. You just need to stay committed. You just need to show up. When discipline becomes your habit, success becomes your lifestyle. And here's the part most people never understand: discipline creates motivation. The more you show up, the more momentum you build. The more momentum you build, the more inspired you feel. People try to start with inspiration, but inspiration actually grows out of daily discipline. When you keep your promises to yourself, your confidence rises. When your confidence rises, your belief strengthens. And when your belief strengthens, your motivation begins to regenerate naturally. Discipline also protects you from the traps of comfort. Comfort is seductive. It whispers that you can skip today and start tomorrow. It tells you that one break won't hurt, that one distraction isn't dangerous, that one delay won't stop your progress. But one delay becomes two become 10, and suddenly you're months behind on the life you promised yourself. Discipline confronts comfort and forces you to choose purpose over pleasure. It demands that you sacrifice who you are for who you want to become. It pushes you past excuses, past fear, past hesitation, and into intentional action. And every time you choose discipline instead of comfort, you strengthen the version of yourself that is built for greatness. You also begin to notice something powerful. Discipline creates freedom. People think discipline is restrictive, but the truth is the opposite. Discipline gives you control over your habits, your time, your energy, and your life. When you are disciplined, you're no longer a slave to your moods, your distractions, or your environment. You're not controlled by procrastination or overwhelmed by inconsistency. You become the leader of your own existence, not a follower of your feelings. That level of control produces a confidence and peace that motivation alone can never give you. Discipline is also the bridge between the person you are and the person you're trying to become. Every action you take is a vote for your future self. Every day you stay disciplined, you strengthen the identity of someone who wins, someone who finishes, someone who follows through. And once you start seeing yourself as that person, someone capable, someone committed, someone unstoppable, your entire life begins to change. Your standards rise. Your mindset sharpens. Your decisions become more intentional. You stop chasing success and start embodying it. At the end of the day, motivation may start your journey, but only discipline will carry you to the finish line. You don't need to feel ready, you need to stay committed. You don't need to feel excited, you need to stay consistent. Because when discipline becomes your foundation, success is not a possibility. It becomes your expectation. When you focus, everything begins to accelerate. Life doesn't give out success randomly. It rewards those who can concentrate their energy, attention, and effort on one clear target. Most people try to do too many things at once. They chase multiple goals, respond to every distraction, and split their attention between what matters and what doesn't. And because of this scattered approach, progress feels slow, achievements feel random, and dreams feel impossible. Focus is the difference between spinning your wheels and moving forward with unstoppable momentum. When you focus, clarity replaces confusion, energy replaces distraction, and every action you take moves you closer to your goal instead of pulling you in different directions. Focus is not just about paying attention, it is about intentional elimination. You cannot grow while letting every notification, opinion, and opportunity compete for your mind. To accelerate, you must decide what deserves your energy and what does not. You must protect your mind from unnecessary noise and commit to the path that leads to your vision. Most people underestimate how much energy is wasted on the things that don't matter. Every time you allow your attention to scatter, you are slowing down your progress, diluting your results, and delaying your breakthrough. Focus, on the other hand, multiplies your efforts, creating results far greater than the sum of your actions. Acceleration comes when focus becomes a habit, not a choice. It's easy to concentrate when everything is exciting and convenient. The real test comes when life is difficult, when distractions are tempting, when delays are frustrating. That is when focus must be more than a desire, it must be a discipline. You must train your mind to return to what matters most, no matter how chaotic the world becomes. Each time you resist a distraction, each time you redirect your energy to your purpose, you build momentum. Momentum is the invisible force that carries the focused forward faster than anyone else. Without it, even the best ideas and opportunities remain stagnant. With it, small steps compound into massive results. Focus also sharpens decision-making. The unfocused person hesitates, overthinks, and wastes precious time. The focused person sees clearly, acts decisively, and eliminates the non-essential. Clarity and speed are inseparable. They feed each other. When you concentrate your mind on a specific goal, decisions become easier, priorities become obvious, and actions become more effective. You no longer chase what is trendy, convenient, or easy. You chase what matters, what produces results, and what moves you closer to your destiny. Every decision made in alignment with focus accelerates your growth, reduces wasted effort, and compounds your impact over time. Energy follows focus. Your mind is like a lens. When scattered, it disperses energy like light through a broken prism. But when focused, it concentrates power like sunlight through a magnifying glass, generating heat, intensity, and results. The more you focus, the more energized you feel, not physically in a temporary sense, but mentally and strategically. You stop exhausting yourself on distractions and start fueling your life with intentional action. That energy becomes magnetic, drawing opportunities, partnerships, and resources into alignment with your goals. The universe rewards clarity of intention, and focus creates that clarity. Focus also builds resilience. When you are determined to concentrate on what matters, obstacles no longer seem overwhelming. Challenges become stepping stones, criticism becomes instruction, and failure becomes feedback. A focused mind is unshakable because it knows the path, it knows the purpose, and it refuses to be deterred by temporary setbacks. Acceleration is not about avoiding obstacles, it is about learning to move faster despite them. Every day of consistent focus compounds the results of yesterday, building exponential growth over time. This is how ordinary effort, when applied with extraordinary focus, creates extraordinary outcomes. Ultimately, acceleration is the reward for relentless focus. Life begins to move faster, doors begin to open, and opportunities start to appear where none existed before. Your actions gain clarity, your results gain momentum, and your dreams transform from distant possibilities into tangible realities. Focus is not optional if you want to move quickly in life. It is the key that multiplies your energy, compounds your efforts, and creates unstoppable momentum toward the life you are destined to live. The more you guard your attention, the more intentional your actions, and the more disciplined your mind, the faster your journey becomes. And the sooner your destiny is fulfilled. Your future is shaped by the choices you make every single day, often in ways you don't even realize. Most people think of destiny as something distant, something that will arrive when the timing is right, when luck is on their side, or when circumstances line up perfectly. But the truth is, your destiny is not built in a single monumental moment. It is built in the small, consistent decisions you make every morning, every afternoon, and every night. Every thought you entertain, every action you take, every word you speak, and every habit you maintain is a vote for the person you are becoming. Your life is a reflection of these choices, whether you are aware of it or not. And the quality of those decisions will determine the quality of your life. The decisions that shape your future are not always obvious. They are hidden in what you allow yourself to focus on, what you feed your mind, and what you tolerate in your environment. Choosing to spend hours consuming negativity, gossip, or meaningless distractions may seem harmless in the moment, but over time, it compounds into a life that feels aimless and unfulfilled. On the other hand, intentionally deciding to study, to grow, to take responsibility, to act with integrity, even when no one is watching, creates a trajectory toward excellence. Small choices repeated consistently are far more powerful than occasional bursts of effort. It is the daily commitment to alignment with your goals that determines whether you rise or remain stagnant. Another critical aspect of these daily decisions is the way they influence your habits. Habits are the architecture of your life. They silently dictate your outcomes without requiring constant effort. Each time you choose discipline over indulgence, preparation over procrastination, action over avoidance, you reinforce a pattern that moves you closer to your goals. Conversely, every decision to settle, to give in to fear, to follow convenience, weakens the habits that are necessary for success. Most people underestimate the power of repetition. They look for dramatic changes, but life-changing results rarely happen in a day. They happen in the quiet, repetitive actions that align with your values and vision. Your decisions also shape your mindset, which in turn shapes your reality. If you repeatedly choose thoughts of fear, doubt, and limitation, you reinforce a mental framework that keeps you small. If you repeatedly choose thoughts of possibility, confidence, and faith, you create a mind that sees opportunity where others see obstacles. The mind responds to instruction, and your decisions are the instructions you give it. Every choice to act with courage, to persevere, to learn from mistakes is like planting a seed that grows into a tree of resilience, strength, and influence. Over time, those seeds compound into the life you experience, whether it is one of struggle or one of triumph. Accountability and decision-making is another cornerstone of shaping your future. Life rarely gives second chances for neglected opportunities. When you make a choice to ignore preparation, to avoid responsibility, or to delay action, you are not only forfeiting today's potential, you are limiting tomorrow's possibilities. Every moment of hesitation is a moment lost, and every decision made with intentionality is a moment gained. Those who achieve greatness understand that they are the sum of their choices, and they refuse to leave their future in the hands of chance or circumstance. They embrace responsibility, knowing that every decision, no matter how small, carries weight. Finally, the awareness that your future depends on your daily decisions creates empowerment. It means you are never helpless, never stuck, never waiting for external forces to dictate your life. You have more control than you realize, because every decision you make is an opportunity to steer your life in the direction you want. By choosing focus over distraction, growth over stagnation, action over hesitation, you shape a future that reflects your highest potential. Your destiny is not waiting for you somewhere out there. It is being built right now in the choices you make, in the actions you take, and in the person you decide to become each and every day. Comfort is one of the greatest enemies of growth, yet it is the one trap most people fall into without realizing it. We are wired to seek ease, to avoid pain, and to cling to what feels familiar. It's natural to prefer the path that requires the least resistance, the routine that feels safe, and the life that demands the smallest amount of effort. But what most people don't understand is that comfort is silent, subtle, and insidious. It doesn't scream at you. It whispers. It convinces you that just for today won't matter, that one more time of avoiding discomfort is harmless, and that the life you dream of can wait until tomorrow. The problem is, tomorrow rarely comes. Every day you prioritize comfort over challenge, you push your potential further away and keep your future trapped in mediocrity. Growth requires discomfort because it demands change, and change is inherently uncomfortable. When you step out of what is familiar, your mind resists. Your body resists. Even the people around you may resist, unconsciously questioning your new direction. But discomfort is the signal that you are moving in the right direction. Every time you stretch beyond what feels easy, you expand your capacity. Every time you face fear, embrace challenge, and do what you know you should rather than what you feel like, you are building resilience, strength, and character. Comfort is a temporary relief, but it is a permanent barrier to your progress. Growth never comes to those who wait for life to be comfortable. It comes to those who dare to act despite discomfort. The danger of comfort is that it breeds complacency. You can spend years drifting in the same routines, repeating the same patterns, and telling yourself that you're doing fine, all the while your potential atrophies. Complacency doesn't feel like failure at first, it feels like safety. It masks itself as stability, predictability, and control. But beneath that surface lies stagnation. When you are too comfortable, you stop challenging yourself, and when you stop challenging yourself, your skills, your vision, and your opportunities begin to shrink. The life you hoped for, the impact you wanted to make, and the person you long to become remain locked behind the door of convenience you refuse to open. To overcome comfort, you must embrace discipline and intentionality. You must be willing to choose challenge over ease, growth over relaxation, and purpose over pleasure. Every day presents decisions that test your commitment. Will you work on your goals when you feel tired? Will you take risks when uncertainty looms? Will you sacrifice short-term gratification for long-term gain? These are the moments that define whether you will remain comfortable or rise into your potential. The choice to act in discomfort repeatedly compounds into momentum, and that momentum separates the mediocre from the extraordinary. The life you desire requires that you step into discomfort with courage, consistency, and conviction. Discomfort also sharpens your focus and clarifies your priorities. When life becomes too comfortable, your mind drifts, your energy scatters, and you lose sight of what truly matters. But when you are pushed beyond your limits, when you face challenges that force you to adapt, you develop clarity, determination, and resilience. Adversity, difficulty, and discomfort are teachers that accelerate growth faster than any comfort ever could. The lessons learned in struggle, the skills built under pressure, and the confidence earned through persistence are all products of choosing growth over ease. No comfort zone has ever produced greatness. It only produces repetition, habit, and missed opportunities. Ultimately, the decision to reject comfort is a decision to pursue your highest potential. It is a declaration that you refuse to settle for mediocrity, that you will not let fear, laziness, or routine dictate your life. The path of growth is never the easiest path, but it is the only path that leads to meaningful success. Every step you take outside of comfort strengthens your mind, sharpens your character, and moves you closer to the life you were born to live. Comfort may feel safe, but growth demands courage, action, and sacrifice. And it is only on that path that your dreams become reality. Mastering your mind is the single most powerful step you can take toward achieving the life you desire. Everything in your life, your success, your happiness, your influence, and your peace flows from the way you think. Yet most people spend their lives allowing their minds to be hijacked by fear, doubt, distraction, and negativity. They react to circumstances rather than directing them. They follow impulses rather than guiding their thoughts with purpose. And they allow their emotions to dictate their decisions rather than their vision. Until you take control of your mind, your potential remains limited. But once you master it, everything else begins to fall into place. Mastery of the mind is not optional. It is the foundation for every achievement, every relationship, and every meaningful impact. Your mind is the command center of your life. Every action you take, every habit you form, and every result you achieve begins as a thought. Thoughts are powerful. They shape your beliefs, which shape your behaviors, which ultimately determine your results. If you allow fear, negativity, and self-doubt to dominate your thoughts, they will manifest in your actions and outcomes. Conversely, if you choose to cultivate thoughts of courage, possibility, and determination, your actions and results will follow suit. Mastering your mind is about learning to direct your thoughts intentionally, to focus on what serves your highest good, and to eliminate what weakens or distracts you. The mind follows the instruction it is given, and mastery comes from giving it the right instructions consistently. One of the keys to mental mastery is the ability to control attention. The average person allows attention to drift toward whatever is urgent, sensational, or distracting. They are controlled by notifications, gossip, fear, and fleeting pleasures. The master of the mind, however, focuses on what is important, what is productive, and what aligns with their vision. By choosing where to place your attention, you magnify your energy, your clarity, and your effectiveness. Focused attention becomes a multiplier, turning ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Every day spent without intentional focus is a day where your potential is squandered. But every day spent directing your mind toward your priorities accelerates your progress in ways that seem almost magical. Another essential aspect of conquering the mind is emotional control. Emotions are powerful, but they are not always accurate guides. Fear can paralyze, doubt can mislead, and anger can destroy opportunities. Mastering your mind does not mean suppressing emotions. It means learning to observe them, understand them, and decide how to respond rather than reacting impulsively. When you can separate your decisions from your immediate emotional state, you operate from clarity rather than chaos. You act with wisdom, courage, and intention, even in the face of uncertainty. This ability to regulate your responses is what allows successful people to navigate challenges that derail others. They do not wait for emotions to align with their goals. They direct both mind and emotion to serve their purpose. Discipline is inseparable from mental mastery. A mind that is undisciplined drifts into procrastination, distraction, and self-sabotage. A disciplined mind, on the other hand, follows through on commitments, pursues consistency, and embraces the work required to achieve long-term goals. Discipline shapes habits, habits shape character, and character shapes destiny. Mastery of the mind is the process of training your thoughts and behaviors so that they naturally align with your goals, your values, and your potential. Every decision to act despite discomfort, to stay focused despite distraction, and to persevere despite setbacks strengthens your mental muscles and expands your capacity for success. Finally, mastering your mind unlocks freedom. When you control your thoughts, your focus, and your emotions, you are no longer a slave to circumstance, opinion, or impulse. You operate from power, clarity, and intention. You create your reality instead of reacting to it. Your decisions become deliberate, your actions become strategic, and your life begins to reflect the person you choose to be. Master your mind, and everything else aligns. Your relationships improve, your work multiplies, your influence grows, and your peace becomes unshakable. The power to shape your life lies not in luck, opportunity, or external factors, but in the mind you choose to command and the discipline you bring to that command. Now it's time to decide, will you master your mind or remain a slave to your life? When you conquer your mind, the world bows to your footsteps. Remember, all success begins with mental control. And today you claim that control. Your life speed is about to change because whoever masters the mind masters everything.